Make a wish, ladies and gentlemen, because for EDG fans, they rejoice after Game 1 was such a success in our match of the week against Invictus Gaming. And for EDG, this is a great moment. As in Game 1, Meiko picked up MVP, Raz, Hysterics. I know I'm all over the place, but it's because that game was absolutely popping.
What did I tell you? The flashier person wins it. They were looking at the beams, all right? That's what they were looking at, not the karma, setting up the map, making the top lane gank work out twice.
That's true, Raz. That's true.
I'm upset. But congratulations to the Meiko. He got a lot of great work done. This is actually one of the major moments of this game, where the first dive comes through after a successful one from EDG in the top lane. And you would expect, if you were to watch this tape, you're like, oh, so Jinoo got the MVP. Because Jinoo on this one was actually able to make the back-to-back play work out. And then this is how it ends. Meiko being able to get this one. It was in Fog of War, of course, they didn't see where they were at the moment, but they had a pretty damn good idea where they were going. This was another crucial fight that also showcases the binding that Meiko was able to make that instantly erases JakeyLove. So good luck. You'll lose that fight. Clear ace for EDG.
But in this game number 1, you could have given MVP to so many people. I mean, Jiejie had an outstanding performance in the early game.
That's true.
And going up against Ning, we said this matchup was hype, and it sure is. But never did I think it would be Jiejie-sided coming into it.
Look, the moment that dive went happen, I was like, good luck.
Now it's Jiejie-sided.
Because unless if you think that EDG is a team much like early last split, where they were a team that actually made a lot of problems and had issues in terms of discipline. They have a great early game lead, well, you bet that they can't hold that.
Right.
But if you've seen all these, like Dominus, JDG, BLG, they didn't lose a single game, and for the most part, they had early game leads down packed. They've been snowballing it. So they got a great snowballing composition. They had that amazing first 4 minutes. It seemed like it was over from that point forward.
Yeah, it really did. From there, EDG just closed out the game in slow, methodical fashion, you could say. They always found themselves in an advantage, brewing, growing.
Look, slow, methodical is certainly what you say for EDG 2018, 2017.
You don't think so?
Now when ClearLove's out, ClearLove's watching it, and I don't even know what notes he's taking.
I guess that's
What
true.
notes is ClearLove taking? Because he's like, I wouldn't.
Faster.
Faster. I'll dive him. Invade. Constant movement. It's like an old man, old dog dude learn a lot more tricks.
Sitting back in his chair, just pointing.
He's just sweating while this is all happening. Like an entirely new game is right in front of him. It's like for whatever reason, League of Legends 2 is out and no one gave him the memo. It's like, that's how good right now it seems like that Jiejie, Scout, and Jinoo are working out.
Yep.
Now, it's a honeymoon period. Does it last forever? Sometimes honeymoons do last forever. If it's a Hollywood movie, you got some good love going.
The whole movie is the honeymoon.
You can still be in a decrepit, like run-down bungalow house, and it's still you still got that love. You still feel like everything's sky high. I think that's going to be the case for EDG.
Okay.
For how strong they are currently showcasing to me, and a lot of it's just based off of great execution, I think you can be in that decrepit bungalow all whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Save that money. You don't need a big house to be happy. And I think right now they got themselves a nice, comfortable house.
Well, it's game 1 for you against IG. When you perform that well, you expect bigger things going into the rest of the series. For Invictus Gaming, though, let's break down while we come away from that honeymoon period and maybe go to the divorce.
I'm a big fan of that entire nonsense. I just feel.
Well done. See, I told you, the more you cast with it, the better you get.
Learning from
better being perspective, of course.
Go for it.
IG, I said it's the divorce period coming into this because game 1 for them is just showcasing what's happening with IG right now.
Yeah, it's not pretty for IG.
No.
If we're just talking about the last series they've gone up against now, it should have been actually a pretty easy road for Invictus Gaming if we're just talking about what's apparent on paper. Dominus was their first series. They won that one, but it went to game 3. And a lot of that, if you saw that series, you definitely did. I think you casted that series. It was a back-and-forth nonsense in the last game that shouldn't have been that close. They lose to LNG. Now LNG is a new, have new acquisitions. It makes sense for them to be pushing up right now, the top of the league.
Very good, yeah.
Victory 5 was inexcusable. That loss that they had, the fact that it went to 3 games, sure, but then they lost in the fashion that they did. I mean, you say a lot of great stuff for the LDL upstarts rookie players coming in for Victory 5.
But they're meant to be 15th, 16th in the LPL.
Yes. And so I'm not gonna tell the tale for where Victory 5 is gonna be at the end of the year, but I'm gonna tell you what the former champions, I guess current champion if we're just talking about world champs here, They should be able to take these series. That was the easiest part of their road.
Yes.
Now they're going up against, of course, EDG. The next opponent is going to be Top Esports, and it's not going to be easier. They just need to be able to play up.
Because the more losses they keep racking across, we start going from questions to maybe remarks about how IG might not make playoffs, and we're very far off that. Like you said earlier on, Invictus Gaming still have plenty of time. Baolan's back in the mix, but time runs out with each passing week.
And so here's the thing. I had this discussion, actually. I made a video specifically on the point about MSI. You know, when you come back in, all of the representatives, they just, except for LEC, they had an extra bit of week, I suppose. Yeah. But they all came in a week off, and they just had to come back into thick of things.
That's right.
You know, burnout's a real thing. Now for Team Liquid losing to, of course, like CLG and Echo Fox, that's one of that, you know, that's the result that you get. Now if you're, you look towards SKT, they'll wasted lost to Freak of Freaks, and they're getting pushed around right now. Like, that's another example of a team that's, you know, trying to find their way back in it, and they don't look like the same selves that they had. But IG is a different case. IG is a team that not only had that, but on top of that had that, you know, period where not only the rookie issues came through. Now, once again, I'm going to say, like, all hearts towards Rookie that has to go back to Korea and have to work with his family on that one. Cool. Like, that's really heartbreaking to see him, personally speaking, take the game out of it. That sucks. But then you bring the game back in, you lose your star player. Baolan has only just come back, and I know Baolan had a bad performance at the Team Liquid series.
But I know that was a response to Rookie having to leave, most likely.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to make any that. You get out of here with your speculation. Get out of here. I don't want to hear it.
Continue.
What is the reality is week 1, Baolan was not to be seen.
Yes.
And Baolan came back finally, and, you know, if we're just talking about what makes this team great, it's his recon.
Yep.
Like, when you see those moments at Worlds, when you see that moment in the regular season, Baolan is an exceptional talent that is a veteran on the team. So now that he's back, once again, this is going to be a longer journey for IG.
And he's worked with JakeyLove so much, extensively throughout the grand final we saw in spring. The reason why that bottom lane was so great because of how Baolan and JakeyLove work together. So the duo opportunity is there, much more than it is for Lucas. Not that Lucas had a disappointing performance. So a lot of questions, and as I did before, a lot of speculation with IG.
But it's natural to have those speculations, of course.
Of course.
Because no one knows what's happening internally for Invictus Gaming. But it seems like while there are so many questions for IG, there are a lot of answers by EDG.
Yeah.
Seems like they just turned their sheets in, and it's like, well, that's actually just 100%.
I think this is one of the best roster swaps in summer.
Look,
by far.
It hurts to say that, because Ray was an all LPL top lane.
And he was, yeah.
So Jinoo coming in, I don't know if it's a side grade, but it sure as hell feels like based on the games we're watching, it's an upgrade.
Yeah.
So that's tough to see that. But then you look towards the jungle matchup, and hell yeah. Because for JakeyLove, now JakeyLove wasn't a bad jungler. I actually rated him personally as a 6th or 7th place jungler. That's still playoff jungle.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's still butting heads with like lacking experienced players like XX Meteor, who I still have ahead of them. But when it comes down to crucial moments, XX fell off, and you don't know how to really quantify that when it comes to players of experience like JakeyLove. But Jiejie's coming in.
Raw mechanics.
Easily, not only the mechanics coming in tough, but also as well just showcasing that he has that discipline and great jungle IQ that JakeyLove had.
Yeah.
So immediately he trumps him. He's, for me, a top 5 jungler in the league easily. So that's kind of crazy that EDG had that in their midst, in their game house for a while now.
And as we talked about before with EDG, the top side, the weak side that Jinoo plays to so often, he can handle that. Whereas someone like Ray, sure, he'd be okay until we got to the fights, but he couldn't handle it like this. Jinoo just seems to be another element, or in one rather.
Yeah, and I think what I like about Jinoo coming in is that he is vocal about what he wants out of his lane. That when he gets resources, it's because like he's been calling for it. So that's something that I love out of that kind of top side of the map. And speaking of just being able to know, it's nice to be able to have that while Forge is in the team. Because it's not like there's a devoid voice on the squad. There is always direction. Ning is incredibly vocal, and a lot of the times people, you know, kind of tag negatives to that, but I'm certainly tagging positives in that he knows what he wants in the jungle.
Yeah.
And he's going to give Forge a list of things he should do. And it makes it easier for him to come in a debut performance and at least know what's expected from him.
Imagine your debut performance going up against EDG like this as well.
It's never going to be easy.
It's such a task. So
I feel bad for both him and Lucas for what's happening in the first 3 weeks.
We will see more of Forge by the looks of it as well. We'll see. But for Invictus Gaming, give him a bit of a run and see what the result is.
Yeah, and just like the small thing about Forge before we like leave that issue to the side,
Of course.
is that remember one thing about the summer split. LDL still promotes into the league. If you are a championship team in the LDL, Forge right now is contending for that in the academy team for Invictus Gaming. So we may see him fairly soon. Just depends. It's a long road ahead of him. But back on to what is the immediate future. And that's his future. How he takes down EDG if possible.
See if EDG can clean this one up against the world champions of 2018. Because once again, IG, blue side, EDG, red. And we go into game 2 with similar bans across the board, with IG this time not opting in for the Silas first pick.
Yeah, immediately with that being banned out, I like it because what we've been seeing was Olaf being taken away. In fact, Olaf banned as well by Invictus Gaming.
Yeah.
They just want the game to not be as linear as we have a stronger jungler early on. We can carry whatever option that we throw alongside it. Sejuani has actually been such a key pick in the meta because if you have Aurelia up and it's up, if you have, let's say, Yasuo that we saw from Windy so long ago and it's up, like all of these picks work so well in tandem. Melee, assassin / bruisers work well with the Sejuani passive.
So we'll see the Sejuani then transition over to EDG because they can play with those flexes we so heavily talk about here in the LPL. Jace being the natural order. Akali's still up, but no need to pick that just yet. I see the Sivir again if iBoy wants to rinse and repeat.
Yeah, you can always go back to it, and I think the Sivir's always a safe option now. They already know that the Yuumi is out of the equation, and Sivir's just a fantastic pickup against it. They can hold on to that in the at least on the third pick before they go into the second phase. Because if they hold off, see the Sivir's not picked out, lock in Sivir, and let's say ban out the Lucian and like 2 picks that are great up against it, then they feel incredibly comfortable putting iBoy in that situation.
I like the fact that we've stuck with the top side of the map, though. It's going to be the Aurelia picked up into what seems to be the Renekton, depending where it goes. So Renekton stole away by IG this time, and so is the Sivir.
That could easily be Forge picking up the Renekton. In the LPL, we have a lot of teams here that are willing to and able to put Renekton in a flex pick. So we'll have to see. I think it ends up following Aurelia wherever it goes. That's a gambit that I'm willing to take. If you saw the Fnatic game yesterday as well, keep making these references, but they're crucial, is that, hey, Shen was picked up and go up against Aatrox. When Aatrox wanted to be put in the mid lane,
that's very true.
He followed. So whatever it takes to find the proper matchup.
I think we're comparing a region. LEC seems to be the most relevant at the moment anyway. That's a larger discussion, Raz. But at the moment, as we get the second ban phase, note what hasn't been picked here. Jungler for Jiejie after what was large priority in game number 1, and support and, of course, mid or top lane for IG.
Now remember, EDG got the first pick on second on this side, so they can ban away a support here and make it so Invictus Gaming are reeling a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now the Rakan ban is smart because they just want to take away the Xayah Rakan no matter what, and they know that EDG will get their first hand. Of course, they'll pick it. Meiko is a fantastic Rakan player. Engage in general, so good idea.
Remember, the Nautilus has just been brisked across in this series as well. Meiko's not going to get his Lux again, so we start looking at what was the S tier, the A tier in 9.10. The Cow, does he make his way onto Summoner's Rift?
Now, before we even talk about hovers, I'm going to talk about the one that's most important, with being the Alistar, right? Alistar's been a pick versus Sivir. If Sivir doesn't want to deal with, an engage, it's too bad. The Spell Shield can only handle too much. A Headbutt Pulverizer, comfortably timed, is going to deal with with that entirely. So I like that as a hover. I think that's something that could get picked. The only thing that stops it are like the amount of disengaged tools and better jungle matchups, support matchups. So Nico is gone, doesn't have to be concerned about that. The Braum is a possibility. So that's something that I'll look towards, and it looks like it's going to be that Nautilus.
So the Nautilus there paired up with JakeyLove in the bottom lane. Going to ignore that for now, even though both these top laners used to be Riven tops.
Exactly, you got to talk about it. The Riven players, even if it's just the hover.
Then you're left with the Scion in the end. You're like, well, we'll take that.
He's going to imagine a Riven.
It'd be funny if Forge played Scion.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Or Forge played
namesake, Renekton.
I mean, I was just talking about if Forge played
Riven.
Okay.
Where are you going, Raz? Where are you?
Thinking about the champion that forges.
Oh, Ornn.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, that's my fault. I can't believe I didn't get there.
It's okay.
So, It will be the Alistar in the end, though, just taking a brisk look back. And briefly there for EDG, we looked over the Karthus, and I was like, this is no ClearLove in the jungle. It's Jiejie, he's aggressive early, and the Elise pairs really nicely with that.
Also, it did get a nerf. Base damage and ratio on the ultimate on the Karthus, so I think it's still a viable pick, but going to be a little hard in terms of a sell. But we have our composition here for both teams, and it is Renekton going into the mid lane. Now, it's not matching, and it's not going to be matching the Aurelia here. We'll see if that ends up being the swap within the game, but I still think that Renekton in the mid portion of the lane, with the Sejuani hovering over the matchup, is such a great direction for Invictus Gaming. It makes it easier for Forge to thrive in this matchup.
Also, Forge will be the 5th player in the LPL to play Renekton mid as a standard matchup. Now, when we say Renekton mid, we're not talking about the top laner comes mid. It's a lane swap. Mid laners picking up Renekton and taking it right to the center of the map.
Now, it works well for some great teams. Like, you know, if we're talking about Doomby, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Then you know where I'm going with this.
And then you go, what, down to Ian in Vici
No,
Gaming?
Kuro.
Okay.
Kuro had a 0-9 performance on Renekton.
That he did.
So, like, that one is the easiest one where it's like, it's great in terms of the combination, but obviously you still have to be able to perform in that situation in those 2v2s. The enemy team knows it's going to happen, so you need to be able to play around it well. And I think that that means calling in Baolan, talking about the supports, making it so the control wards around the lane is a lot more in favor of you, especially if you see that Elise.
Very easy, rather, to get that early shove off in the mid lane. Going up against the Jace, there'll be a lot of poke, but gap close available here for Forge. See how this time the mid lane matchup brews up, because game 1 is constantly shoved in. Scout had priority.
Last time we saw TheShy on Sion, he made a highlight play happen.
Oh, he did,
He shook the world, man.
He did.
And he always goes towards the damage. So Iceborne Gauntlet, guaranteed.
I'm curious to see what the rune pairing with it as well, because it's either the Glacial Augment or something juicy in that top lane. Either way, our match of the week here continues. And one thing I know about Invictus Gaming is they're full of surprises. Whether it's enough to bring us to a game 3 or not, only EDG can show. Let's get into it. I don't know what happened between game 1 and game 2, but someone really just powered up the chat by a lot. So good to see EDG coming out in force after the game 1 win. You're going to see a bit of a risky maneuver here as they go towards a pixel brush and end up with the red, but no deep vision acquired just yet.
Always good. Check on if there's an early ward. Gives you the experience, able to get that level advantage if it's on your, let's say, AD carry or mid laners.
Yep.
So I love the fact that the whole ward on Raptors debacle, that's a little harsh. But the whole like kind of mind games around that now is kind of gone to another level, where the early wards are now on River to defend that, and now you're seeing the early red trinkets to be able to gain experience off of that, and still kind of give you that whole looming danger of a late invade. So
also hit
that's the stuff I'd love to see.
The tiniest bit quicker on the level 2 as well. You're still seeing a level 1 engage. Meiko bopping away Baolan, but a favorable trade for IG's bottom lane. While Scout, we turn back to him, and he has kill pressure on Forge.
Well, how about we just heal right back up? Yeah, let's go.
I mean, that's not enough healing at this point. The shock blast not going to connect, but Scout presses W and again just starts firing away onto the Renekton.
One thing I want to remind people is that he has Electrocute too.
Doesn't look like the mid lane is going to be the only place fighting, as Baolan might be caught out here into the Blade Caller. It doesn't seem like iBoy has it. WQ start here, but Baolan is going to regret going in.
Yeah, man. Electrocute mid, and he has Cleanse. So any concern that he has about Sejuani coming through, maybe it gets amplified with Sejuani knowing that she needs to do something now. But, man, Forge is having a tough time around here.
Really is. Second game in a row. Jiejie nearby in close proximity. Has double buffs here and can make this work.
This is a real possibility.
Cocoon flash over the wall. Jiejie makes it happen once again. Forge flashes out of the way. The repel up to juggle aggro. Forge somehow survives.
That shock blast hitting a minion wave will do it.
That's
right. A lot of damage that was just erased on that one. So great flash immediately from Forge. I always like to see it.
Taking Ignite into the mid lane, so although he won't be able to TP in, at least he survives. While Ning, is he poking out of that brush?
No.
Okay.
You calm down.
It just feels like he
No, he's not.
Okay. All right, Raz.
What the heck are you talking about?
Okay, maybe he's not.
Now they're warded, so he gets out.
Now he gets spotted. Either way.
You got to calm yourself.
He gets spotted out. The ball was sticking out, mate.
No.
It was. iBoy in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, though, bit of a heavy trade once again. Now, remember, a lot of sustain here, so Meiko getting the heal off, but still IG starting to get back in the swing of things.
Yeah, I think right now, the fact that, you know, Ning was able to get a topside gank, of course, you can see the replay happening there where, once again, you got to have to applaud. That was just a clean look from the Elise. This is one of those situations that if you expect Scout to go in a little bit faster, regardless of the shock blast, because the minion wave is there, then you would 100% that turns into a kill.
Means that 10 CS advantage doesn't get extended here for Scout in the mid lane, but still has the early shove in with Jiejie nearby at his Raptor camp. Now, that's the POV stream for Meiko, if you're wondering what our little lower third.
Yeah, I love the fact that, you know, Meiko is going to be the focus of this one, because he's such a creative player on the Alistar. That I remember so long ago when RNG was at the MSI, and, you know, it was Mata on Alistar able to consistently find those kind of plays on, let's say, double lift or just like these teams, right? So creative to be able to hit those points whenever they have a solidified vision in the area. And I think, you know, Meiko is that type of player. So I want to see what he's able to kind of give to EDG later on in the game. When you have both Alistar, Elise, Cocoon, they should be working well in tandem with each other.
It seems like there's a lot of pick on this comp. So for Meiko, it seems to be the start of it. Either that or Jiejie. There's Poke, and there's a lot of engage as well, it seems, from EDG.
I mean, for me, it's just going to be the Alistar and the Aurelia possibility. I think if we're just talking about which team has more engaged, certainly Invictus Gaming.
Yeah.
From that point forward, if TheShy is already getting opened up on, he's got to watch himself.
Conqueror's been started off now versus Graphs. This is not going to be successful as Jinoo hits the W, but knocked up long enough that TheShy can just walk out of there. So it begins with the Aurelia top lane.
Very long CC timing on that one. Now he probably would have queued right back in, but didn't want to expend the flash when he got out of range. But nice to see Jiejie already here. That's the kind of level of communication, or just it's one or the other, right? It's either communication where his top lane is calling for it, or he just has the eyes to be able to see not only the wave being pushed out, but the trade happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So TheShy had to base. If he stuck around anymore, that's an immediate dive on the top side of the map that Ning cannot help with.
Burning TP with a massive wave shoving in. Jinoo now level 6 as well. Need to back or start roaming down because River seems to be contested, and a lot of people from IG walking around, including Baolan.
I love the pickup there from TheShy in the top lane, just dealing with how many auto attacks that Aurelia's going to be throwing in her direction. He's just going to hold on to that. That's a really good recipe in general.
Yep.
You just want to be able to keep up in lane. So expect that. Expect the Ninja Tabis. And then he's going to go straight towards his usual items.
I'm curious to see how this ward spell starts hitting Jinoo pretty hard. But meanwhile, EDG, bottom side of the map, which still has the shove in, is going to enable Jiejie to kick off this Ocean Dragon, which in the early game has got to feel pretty good for EDG.
Yeah, and they need that. The time limit that we're talking about here was technically like a full AD composition from EDG. You're just looking at Elise being that major. Okay, got to deal with that.
Quick reset. Yep. Slow things down.
You got to just this sole AP on this composition is going to be Jiejie. So it's safer from TheShy to look at this comp and say, I'm just going to go full armor. So the Iceborne Gauntlet seems like a good item to pick up for yourself. If you're going to be dealing with Jace and the attack speed that iBoy is going to be rolling out, then maybe you just go for the usual Frozen Heart.
Yeah.
So I like this so far if IG can hold on.
Depends, because Ning going for the invade here, trying to disrupt Jiejie. That's how they get themselves in a firm grasp in this jungle. There's a Glacial Prison onto Meiko. It slows him down, but a great repel there from Jiejie.
I mean, that's just for a Gromp. For me, that's just pretty safe for me, and Jiejie saying, well, I'm going to have flash soon. I'm completely fine with this. I'm going to get out of that.
So just walking away. Now you know the Sejuani ult's down, and just hitting level 6 here for Ning. Kill pressure down very, very slightly.
And I think he needed to be able to have that for the mid lane play. If I'm just talking about what you need right now to get into the game, or at least help out Forge, who's really struggling. Or TheShy for that.
Yeah. Jinoo getting traded back, but not as much as that. Pressure still here with the Vanguard's edge. He turns it on in. Jinoo going to get flashed on, but instead TheShy dies first. Jinoo second, first blood to the Aurelia top.
I think that's a little bit too quick in that one. Remember, TheShy doesn't have teleport. He might stick around in the lane a little bit longer. If he doesn't, he loses extra waves. Elise is pathing in the direction. I don't think he wanted to go there. I really don't think that Jinoo wanted to go for the dive. But he still goes for it. I mean, he still wanted to get that kill. I think if I'm TheShy, worth, you get a 1-for-1 trade off that.
You get Warden's Mail on the Silent too, so TheShy picks up yet another item, or a component of, rather, and Jinoo's going to walk back to lane as a wave, sitting right in the middle, slowly pushing towards him. Or against.
Remember, I talked about how Ning using his ultimate really early on in Jiejie. I would want him to have that on just so he can look through either a mid lane fight or a top lane.
Yeah.
His mid laner Forge is really falling behind in CS. And so like that hasn't ended. The push consistently that Scout is levying hasn't ended. And so eventually you are going to see EDG look for a dive up top side with Jace enabled, or a dive out in the bot side of the map, knowing that JakeyLove and Baolan would be sitting ducks.
Well, at the moment it seems top side, because both junglers are here contesting for the Scuttle Crab, which will be secured by Jiejie, while Ning walks back down. Forge desperately wants to fight someone other than Scout.
Now, EDG can actually stick around in the bottom side of the map. They don't have to go for bot side reset towards top for Rift Herald, because that's a double ocean dragon immediately that we're talking about.
Yep.
So I think EDG would want to have that double ocean, and they just be able to stick out and try and hold the matchup. Because if you are Baolan and JakeyLove, and you have a wave consistently at your turret, you're not going to be in position to base and look top. We'll have to see if they do that now. That's my question.
No, getting the shove in, backing away. All right, here we go.
Where are they going?
That's a good question.
Where's the travel guide telling you?
Back towards the bottom side, it seems.
All right, there we go.
So we're sticking to it, even though that CS lead in the mid lane is still growing, and whether that would affect from the change up. Top lane actually has a CS lead on TheShy, while Meiko's gone walkies.
They're getting a full cut into the red side jungle. Now Ning's going to be cut off on this one.
Jiejie might find him out. Ning slowed on down, has the passive to heal him up. There's a flash forward from Baolan as Ning flashes out, gets a glacial pressure down onto the three members. It's Renekton in the midst again as IG have the fight under their wing. Jiejie dies as well. The TP there from Jinoo. Now they're really onto 4 people. May have bitten off too much, even with the 3-man falls duet. It's IG who take control. iBoy comes in, blades fly, but he's just going to have to burn a summoner to get out, or just knows that he's already dead. Scout as well, the inconsistency to start this game off. EDG get absolutely wiped.
They threw every single member on that one. That's crazy.
That was interesting.
That's crazy. What happened? Every single member after the initial last play thought they can save it. That myself is not smart. So immediately take a look at this. I love the fact that, the Sejuani was able to come out and save herself on that one. The moment Renekton joins out at the same time as JakeyLove, it's a lost play. Scout has to find another avenue in this one. I don't even think Jinoo is able to save this one out. iBoy still thinking he can get a kill off this one. This is when you get too greedy. Yeah. Certainly, if you try for this kill, you die. And that is something you have to have in your right mind. And then why is Scout coming back, right? It's more so just added confusion of how you can save this play that now turns it into a full sweep.
Yeah, Electrocute Jace almost took down Forge, but at the end of the day, he's the one who picked up the kills in that fight. He's got 3 on the back.
Welcome back to the game.
And a Black Cleaver. So yeah, now for Scout, not happy with how things are going to go.
That's when you just erase the tape, right? Erase the footage. Anything that happened in the last, 8 minutes, irrelevant. All that story about Renekton just being on his back foot and just not relevant, he is the leading member that's going to be charging this game forward.
It's such a turnaround here for the mid lane of IG, and they deny the double ocean. So even more so, EDG in a gold disparity here in game number 2. And what that was not the clean play, or cleaner play, I should say, than game 1.
I'm going to come out and say that Thorn Mail Rush is not efficient in any way, but he has himself a Thorn Mail Rush. Okay. I mean, at this point, he knows that there are a lot of auto attackers in both Irelia, Jace, same goes towards the bottom side for Xayah. So we're getting to the stage of IG having an early game lead.
Yeah, and they're going to keep pushing it forward. A Scout gets taken down now for the rest of EDG. They're coming in, but Meiko's slow to the play. The Vanguard's edge is down, but IG still very healthy. Forge the lowest member as a double kill goes over to Ning. Jinoo jumps in as well. This is horrendous. A triple kill to the Sejuani.
All right, welcome back to the game. And Invictus Gaming, there's nothing stopping them.
Ning wants the quadra kill. Give it to him. Meiko has to pop the Unbreakable Wheel. Baolan wants to re-engage, and IG should. They've got everything.
This is a tough game to swallow for EDG, and I don't think they can take anything at this point. They're drinking out of it too.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Off to iBoy. TheShy's just going to do it with another 80 carry in the same position again.
Yeah.
iBoy doesn't want to 1v1 him. Into Thornmail. He can't hit him. Gets the root down, and Meiko says, I'll help you.
He's learned from SMLZ's whole debacle. He's recognized what's happening if he ever takes that fight.
There's no way he was walking into that one. So, do you want to break down EDG?
I mean, I think IG has broken them down themselves. We're at a stage right now where Jace can no longer play out the rest of this game. He needs to be in the side lane from this point forward. I think EDG needs to be able to put iBoy in the mid portion of the map, be able to wave clear as much as possible, try and hold this mid lane turret. It's going to be 14 minutes in, so the turret planning is no longer efficient. It's just going to be really just using the Rip Trail to smash this mid lane turret down. So from this point forward, IG wants to dive with this comp.
Yeah.
This is as like 2013 LPL if I've ever seen it in terms of group up, dive for as long as possible. Don't even concern yourself with the turret juggling. When you have Renekton, Sejuani, and the Scion
who
to the
dies?
mix. And Nautilus.
And Nautilus.
So they should end this game quickly. It's another snowball in the midst.
Yeah, 14 minutes in, and this is the game that IG kind of come back to their form in a way that, I mean, EDG wouldn't want.
Look, they just need to stop them from grouping. And the only way you can do that is keep them interested in waves crashing through on side lanes.
Yeah.
As long as they can do that and have a good track on the one unavoidable push, which is going to be the Rip Trail push, then they should be fine to try and dry out fights. But it actually just looks so hopeless. This is one of those moments, if this is any person's gaming experience, they're FFing.
Yep.
So let's see if IG can make an error here.
And Jinoo at least is keeping those side waves occupied. Forge left to respond to him, while mid lane now 3 members there. So EDG finally making the side lane response, but waiting for the waves to crash in.
It's always about the ability to outplay. We've seen so many moments where Jinoo and I would say Scout have actually were able to outplay numerous teams in the past when they were in really death hold positions. So maybe they can hold off on this one. They have to play their cards right. This is the push that I'm worried about.
Well, they may have found Forge underneath the turret, but he's still so tanky. They'll get them off the turret for now as Balan disengages, but JakeyLove intent on pushing. Still damage on the turret.
They can do it on the next wave. I think they're just trying to hold on to their Rip Trail. They don't want to make it expend HP on the first tower when they can just take it up themselves.
Yeah. IG waiting for someone to walk in. This is ambitious. If EDG walk here.
Get over here.
But it seems like EDG have learned from their mistakes, playing very passively now. You can see how defensive they're actually being.
That's what I said about the EDG going into this series. It seems like EDG is going to suffer for their first loss in the split in this game if it goes on in this direction.
But it's slowed down. 16 minutes in, still slow. 50 seconds till the Dragon. EDG don't look prepared to take that fight. Instead, the bottom lane turret going to be taken down by Ning with Riftail charging in.
But this is a two-piece play. If they can take this turret easily, push it into the second turret, while having a mid lane push on mid, they can take both this and the mid lane turret based off this push alone. So we'll have to see where Forge ends up going. That should be the play.
And then the Dragon on top of that.
Well, they're basing. Everyone's basing.
Jinoo get the eye. Jinoo did not get the eye.
I'm sad that they're basing.
Okay.
I'm concerned.
Very slow from IG.
This is not the time to base, especially with 20 seconds on the Dragon.
Yeah.
I think they should be staying on the map. I think they're too concerned about the item advantage they would be getting off these base.
JakeyLove wasn't even able to pick up that second item. Still moments away from picking up what looks like a rapid fire cannon for the Sivir. And Forge kind of at that point as well, with the Spear of Shojin moments away. So no big breaks just yet for IG, although they still have the advantage.
He's not interested in whatever you guys are setting up top side. Whatever you're cooking, he's out of here. He's out of himself a Glacial Shroud, by the way, unsurprisingly.
You need 3 people to kill him.
Yeah, you do.
Even Jiejie's not doing enough damage yet. JakeyLove just left to this turret.
Okay.
So, okay. Yeah.
And I think EDG will give away this Infernal Dragon, honestly. In fact, they're not even going to give too many resources towards it. Actually bringing in Sivir. Okay, fine.
This is a weird game.
What about it is weird?
Just a lot of expectations from EDG coming into the second game.
Yes, true. I think if we're talking about that whole fight that happened in the red side jungle, like that harkens back to old EDG. That people were really hopeful would not exist. But,
yeah.
I mean, that happens. You just got to take the losses on that one. But I'm just talking about losses on the plays. I want to see if this game ends up turning out the way some people were expecting. IG can still falter, even though it's absolutely signed, sealed.
They got a Warmogs on the Sejuani. That front line just never ceases to get even better here.
And we have a late tier from Scout.
Yes.
So, well, there's not a lot I like. But from Jace, I think he should be on side lane permanently. I'm just talking about being able to pick up, let's say, old school Jace would go towards Blade of the Rune King. More so talking about Black Cleaver.
Yep.
Something that finds him able to stand up tall towards, let's say, armor, shredded just like TheShy or Forge, so he can be able to split up the team. Poke at this point in time will not help you.
Yeah, deal with that front line. So let's see what happens with the tier and how long it takes to stack, because at this point, Scout getting it so late means that 30, 35 minutes could be the way as he gets that second item into the Manamune. But for now, EDG, after walking over a ward, trying to set up for the pick, but it seems like Scout is the one who's going to be picked instead. A lot of damage out of Ning. The Permafrost will connect here into the Ignite, the ultimate to kill him instead. And now for iBoy to escape as TheShy just tunnels into a wall. EDG take half their health and damage. Ning walks into Meiko, and EDG are absolutely flabbergasted as they walk into the turret with no damage again.
Yeah, and what timing that is. I don't even think they go towards any objective like Baron's coming up soon, but I think they just start taking this parade down mid on the get the inhibitor.
It's going to be a quick inhibitor before the 20-minute mark, all right on the dot. Jinoo left to defend while the rest of the team back away. They don't want a piece of this.
This is going to be 10 seconds of death time on Meiko, though. So my concern now for IG is they stay on the map. They're not going to be taking this inhibitor. They cannot. But if they stay on the map, I think it's the best call here. They need to start staggering backs just in case EDG go for a desperate Baron.
Be able to pull them back into the gold, because 6K right now for Invictus Gaming. As they'll be backing, Jiejie not going to walk far enough forward to spot that one, but Baolan found Scout after he went searching for vision.
Just getting bullied. All you got to worry about is the Sejuani damage that follows through. The moment you flash, just hold on to his ultimate to get. This is a lot of damage.
It really is.
So, Meiko's going to feel it. And even though he does his best to be able to duck and dodge so many abilities, yeah, you still get ticked off by that last auto attack from JakeyLove.
IG just keep getting more and more gold, and with that fight, inhibitor now exposed. Ning is on searching duty once again. And EDG just have to watch and wait and try and get a steal or try and get a pick before the Baron.
Yeah, it really is just going to be an issue of Jiejie trying to get, you say pick? I just think he needs to get a Baron steal at this point. That's just the tried and true era, maybe like that type of odd one steal where he can find himself in the pit. That broke the hearts of OMG. They still won that game. OMG still, like, even though people in North America so high on that point.
Some old games, yeah.
But right here, yeah, you got to do something.
That Big's not even started the Baron. Instead, he's waiting for Jiejie to check it out. And IG, they just picked up another turret. Now remember, they don't have a Baron buff just yet, but there is another Infernal that will be waiting for them shortly. With Invictus Gaming continuing to knock on the top side.
EDG still have 2 blue trinkets up and available. They don't have to do anything in their red side jungle.
Sure.
So it's going to be on IG that has to get the job done when it comes towards putting pressure on Baron.
All right, another turret goes down. And at this point, you got your 2 items. You got everything ready. You got the Frozen Heart we were talking about earlier for TheShy.
Oh, they're pinging it.
And the Baron looks to be beginning.
All right, where are the blue trinkets at? Start raining them. That's
one. The first one.
They see it.
At 9k HP.
TheShy and Baolan being
gatekeepers. He's waiting. No, Jiejie hooked in. The ult knocks him up. He doesn't land before he dies. Jungler down. Baron secured.
They even got the 2-for-1 on that one. The Nautilus ultimate to the back line on Jace, just so they can get 2 knockups for 1. I mean, it's a lot of high value to be able to get the Baron buff.
And TheShy is chasing down the cow. He's hungry. He needs his protein. 5 levels difference. Meiko doesn't want a piece of this. iBoy even.
You guys are on the wrong side of the map.
They're going to lose a lot.
Let's see if they end up getting TheShy off, Jinoo off this one.
Oh, thought he was going to ult there. Actually would have hit him if he ulted.
Everyone has disappeared.
TheShy still searching out while the rest of IG pick up an Infernal Dragon. So start preparing, ladies and gentlemen. This looks to be going the full 3. I think we knew that a while ago, but now just getting to that point.
Yeah. At least, you know, when you get to teams like these, because we've seen both EDG and Invictus Gaming be able to claw back from games like these before in the past, And so they're always making the right calls to extend the game, make them at least have a shot. And so that was Scout. Scout pushed up the lane that was crucial. Because if you're talking about lanes that have been available, like bottom lane and inner turret actually. Oh, actually, look at this. Because bottom lane inner turret is not a focus. Oh my god, they're going straight for iBoy.
Shy's going in. iBoy heals, has to use the feathers to fly. Onto Meiko, that's still a big chunk as the rest of IG are following up. And Meiko, they're not even targeting him. He'll be the second on the menu as Balan locks him down. And that's a dead cow again. Longer death timers means longer time of iBoy without his support. TheShy flashes on top of him. Raz, iBoy is dead. They used 3 ultis. They really wanted him as Jinoo with the Vanguard's edge. The Shock Blast is not doing damage anymore. And JakeyLove is sending out his pizza once more.
The turrets aren't doing damage. They just took how many turret auto attacks? And at this point, they can just end it knowing they took down iBoy and Meiko.
Balan wants to re-engage Invictus Gaming heading towards the Nexus turrets. This one is pretty cut and dry for Invictus Gaming. Finally back on top after what game 1 was. This was the recovery. This was a front line that just can't be beaten as look at JakeyLove have his way on the fountain. Scout and Meiko trying to come out and contest it, but this game's already over. A 24-minute victory for Invictus Gaming to take us to Game 3 and Match of the Week.
This series is coming down to early game, crucial plays that just tend to go awry.
Yes.
The first one I was talking about is in Game 1, IG go for a dive on the bottom side of the map. Gets completely turned on. 2 early kills on the Ola. Game 2, this one right here, my friend, is EDG going in for a catch on Sejuani in the red side jungle. That goes too long. Sejuani gets out scot-free. Renekton, who was behind the entire game before that, gets 3 kills!
Yeah.
They got a full wipe off
Again, like a Renekton in the middle of the whole team.
So, yeah, these games are whoever strikes last end up winning. It's kind of crazy to be able to see it, but Snowball is real with both these ones.
Yeah, it really is. So Forge getting himself back in the game, and not much to take away from that, and the fact that just JakeyLove kept on trucking along on the server.
I absolutely don't want to see a single replay for that. Okay, no. Just one replay.
Which one?
It's the one that I kind of explained, right?
Yeah,
like,
okay.
From that point forward, both these teams know what to do to be able to seal. And technically, actually, Invictus Gaming, with the composition that they have with such a high lead, they could do whatever they want.
Yeah.
It was literally like, I don't care about sieging. All I care about is armor stacking and diving through mid.
How do you get through that? I mean, a Sivir must feel right at home in that comp. That's why. I mean, that's why the damage all came through from her.
What can you do?
I mean, what can you do? JakeyLove felt, like I said, right at home, but when you have 4 members as the front line.
Yeah. So at least IG was able to have some form.
Yes.
And remember with how bot lane was able to quickly rotate on that play itself. Those are moments where certainly JakeyLove and Baolan are comfortable in. That they've seen themselves find victories when they're on weak side, able to make these plays, help out mid lane. Of course, Rookie was the last beneficiary on that one. But Forge certainly got a lot with the plays that they were able to make. So congratulations for IG to extend this series going to Game 3.
That's right. And so for EDG, you know, while there are many questions around that play, the earlier part of the game, I will say it was very back and forth, and Invictus Gaming showed a lot more prowess. But EDG was still as proactive as we've expected them to be. Right?
Yeah. So it's sad that the comp came out as it was, because it would have been like back and forth in my estimation.
Yep.
I think that Scout had been performing in terms of finding himself on the right side of the map 100% well. It's more so like the moment I already nailed this down, when you have that one error, things don't go your way, you cannot pile back onto the same situation.
Yes.
LNG will tell you right now, last split last year, they were the type of team that went and dominoed their lead away.
That's right.
They did that so frequently.
Keep going.
You got to learn. You got to learn to be able to like take those L's and walk away from it. And I think that's something that they learned quite a lot. Now it's time for their ability to adapt in Game 3.
All I care about is that we've gone to a Game 3. We're going to have a short break, recover, then return fully loaded to see what happens.